The next step in the process is to find the right property. Here's a few criteria that we look for in specific properties. We like to see at least 150 units or more in the apartment complex. It can be either A, B, or C type property. Now, A, B, and actually there's C and D. A's being the best, brand new properties, the nicest, and D's being the worst, kind of in difficult areas. We tend to like to invest in either B's or C's. A's are nice to invest in, but since they're brand new, they tend to be far higher priced. We also like to invest in the path of progress. And the path of progress is an area of the city where all of the new construction is happening when the market begins to improve. Being located in the path of progress is a good thing, and it will push up our rents and values even faster. Another area that we like to look into are the revitalization zones in a city. And these areas of the city are the areas that the city officials have designated as needing rehab and improvements, and they have committed funds to revitalize the area. So we like to invest in those areas as well, because as they revitalize the area, it will only improve the value of our own property. And we also look for value add components. Now, value add components, for example, are low rents or low occupancy or a property that has deferred maintenance. These are items that we can use to buy the property at the current numbers and then fix these issues quickly, which will skyrocket our income and property value. The next step in the process, we like to find the right owner. Now, oftentimes these owners are either absentee owners. They can be sometimes just tired of ownership of multifamily properties because they didn't put in the right management systems, so the ownership may be difficult for them. We also look for owners that are changing strategies. Maybe they're selling off to buy a new property, or they're simply looking to sell off a property and trade up to an even bigger property. So what we do is we acquire, manage, and then refinance or sell the property. So the process involves we find a property, we get it under contract, we begin the due diligence process. Now, the due diligence process is both a physical, financial, and legal due diligence where we require the seller to provide financial information, and then we also do all the rest of the due diligence to make sure the property is really a good deal as we originally had believed when we put it under contract. And then if not, we renegotiate. Hopefully we don't have to do that, but sometimes we do. And then ultimately we close on the property. After that, we have our property management take over. And what they do is they oversee our plan for the property. And that will typically be to stabilize it. And stabilizing means if the property is not at least at 85% occupancy or above, banks consider that an unstabilized asset. So our investment or our management company, if it is unstabilized, they will improve the occupancy. They will perform our plan for all the value add opportunities that we identified early when we were purchasing the property. And then most of all, they will also maintain growth of our net operating income from month to month so that we're all putting more money in our pocket. And they will also implement a repositioning strategy if that's the type of property or type of tactic that we're going to be using with the property. Repositioning I'll go into a little bit further on the next slide. And then ultimately we will sell or refinance the property, and everyone will get their money back plus their profit. And ultimately a lot of people ended up that invested with us in the beginning decide to reinvest with us again. There are two types of deals that we like to get involved in. Number one is a momentum play, and this is really the one we prefer to be involved in. This is where we purchase an apartment complex and we plan to hold it for anywhere from 3 to 5 years. And we hold it for that long because that gives us the amount of time to ride up the wave of appreciation, whereas we'll sell off before we peak out. And the great part about momentum play properties are they're cash flowing at closing, which means the occupancies may be a little bit lower than it should be, but they're still cash flowing. Whereas a repositioning is you're taking a property that has significant deferred maintenance, or the occupancy is very low, or the occupancy, the tenants, the profile is not very good. And there may be a lot of people in the property that are not paying rent, or just all around not abiding by the rules of the property. These tend to take longer to do simply because you have to generally rehab a number of apartment units, rehab the exterior, and then also lease up all those other units that you are vacated due to pushing out the tenants that aren't paying. Unfortunately, with repositionings, there tends to be no cash flow throughout the repositioning period because all of that money is going into the repositioning to make sure the deal works. Now, upon resale, obviously, there's a far better chunk of change. However, I personally and our company tends to stay more with momentum plays simply because, like I said, they cash flow at closing and they're a far less risky investment. So why invest with Real Estate Answer LLC? Well, we provide a high rate of return, anywhere from 8 to 9% return per year. There's profit upon resale. There's an income stream on a monthly or quarterly basis if you desire it. If not, there's other ways we can arrange it. It's a great way to diversify from stocks in order to protect you from losses. And you are able to use a self-directed IRA out of your IRA or 401k to defer taxes. This is a great technique where you're taking money that was put into an IRA account. You simply use another custodian, a self-directed IRA company, and then you're able to take that money and invest in properties with us. Now, all the profit from that investment will go back into your IRA, so you're actually building money and cash flow on a tax-deferred basis, which is a great thing. Now, the properties are also secured in 3 different ways. They're secured by the property, as you have ownership certificate. They're secured by the cash flow that's coming out of the property on a monthly and quarterly basis. And they're also secured by insurance on the property. And the great part is it's hands-off management for your involvement. We actually, Real Estate Answer LLC, we oversee the management company in the state and in the city that's managing the property. We fly down on a regular basis, inspect the property, and also report back to our investors how the property and how their investments are doing. And from a communication standpoint, we provide monthly profit and loss statements with executive summaries, and you're able to call anytime if you have a question. We also provide quarterly conference calls with all investors and also quarterly disbursements. We are very conservative with our investments. We believe real estate should be fun and it should be a money-making venture. We like to put the two hand in hand, and the only way we can do this is when we are very conservative. Wouldn't you agree? Of course. So, shall we begin our relationship? What kind of questions can I answer for you? Let me take a look at the question box to the right to see if it's working properly. This will take just a minute. Before I switch screens, this would be a great time to jot down my personal email address and phone number. Right down here. It's Sean, S-E-A-N, at re-answer, which is answer.com, or telephone number 978-662-2222. If for any reason I don't answer all of your questions, or you think of a few more later on, please feel free to send me an email or give me a call anytime. If you're not sticking around for the question and answer section, I just want to thank you for coming, and keep an eye on your inbox for your free reports and that one-page questionnaire. Now, those free reports that you're going to be receiving in just a few minutes. Number 1, free report, how to invest safely in emerging markets for bigger returns. And also a bonus report, it's the 5 hottest emerging markets right now. So be sure to check your email after this webinar, and you'll be receiving them shortly.